Good morning, or if you're Russian Air Command, perhaps not so good, in what might be described as the spectacular act of military deflocculation. The Ukrainian Security Service, the SBU, managed to humiliate the Kremlin on two fronts simultaneously. First, by obliterating a sizable chunk of Russia's strategic bomber fleet, and second, by blowing a chunk out of the Kerch Bridge last night. Again, one could say that Moscow is having an oblucation with reality, a struggle no less desperate than undignified with the truth that its prestige arsenal is now likely and literally in ashes. Let's begin with what must now be called Operation Wormwood, the sheer bitterness. Bitter! It has left in the mouths of Kremlin generals. Spit or swallow. Ukrainian drones, not the B-52s or the F-35s, but modest truck-housed FPV drones managed to destroy or severely damage at least 20, perhaps as many as 41 of Russia's long-range bombers, including Tu-95s and Tu-160s. These aircraft are not exactly mass-produced. In fact, they're so rare the Russian Air Force has taken to naming them like Victorian orphans. These bombers from the aerial limb of Russia's nuclear triad, and their loss is not only tactical, it's symbolic, as if the bear has had its teeth pulled while sleeping. No nuclear-capable state, one might venture, has ever lost a third of its bomber fleet without a declaration of war, and that such a blow came not from a NATO strike but from drones piloted via the Russian mobile phone network is the stuff of strategic farce. And while the bombers burned, another humiliation rose, or rather detonated from beneath the waves. The Kerch Bridge, Vladimir Putin's beloved pet infrastructure project linking Crimea to the Russian mainland, was hit by a 1,100-kilogram bomb, explosives placed by Ukrainian agents in an underwater operation that could make Ian Fleming blush. The bridge is not merely concrete and steel, it's the Kremlin's phallic symbol of annexation. Putin once drove across it in a truck. It was, to his mind, a ribbon of legitimacy. Now it's a ribbon frayed. Ukraine has hit it thrice. The symbolism is biblical. God, they say, or God, they literally said, loves a trinity. And what of the Russian response? Well, first came the obnubilate press briefings, the fog in every sense of the word. Official statements have ranged from nothing happened to some damage occurred, a spectrum familiar to anyone who's been caught in a lie halfway through repairing the consequences. And Russia has accused Ukraine of terrorism, ignoring the minor detail that strategic bombers launching cruise missiles at cities might reasonably be considered fair game. And then there's the tyres. Yes, old car tyres lashed to bomber fuselage in a bizarre attempt to shield them from infrared detection. It turns out, unsurprisingly, that tyres burn rather well. This is the security apparatus of state. Of the Russian state that boasts of defeating Napoleon, of building Sputnik, now bested by flying lawnmowers and rubber fire hazards. So what does this mean? In military terms, the obliteration of these aircraft represents a severe erosion of Russia's ability to project power. It weakens not just the nuclear triad, but the entire pantomime of Russian deterrence. No bombers, no bluff. And, nothing happened. As I say, it's like being caught in flagrante with your trousers down. No, nothing happened. Well, not without every wish in the world, every Russian wish in the world that something might happen. Economically, the loss is staggering. It would take apparently 2 decades to rebuild what was lost in one night. And under current sanctions, with a war economy stretched and a militarily industrial complex fraying at the edges, that is optimistic. Diplomatically, the consequences are worse. Russia has been unmasked. The bear is not dead, but it's limping, bleeding, and bleeding credibly. I don't know about bear teeth. I remember being served a plate of bear once in a Siberian restaurant in Moscow. I didn't like it much, but you know horses. When you got a horse tooth, the horse tooth keeps rising like a sort of ice cream, like what's those things that you sort of push them up, the squidgy things. Anyway, the horse tooth grinds down, and then another bit of tooth rises to replace it. So horse teeth are enormous. And I don't know about bear teeth. I think bear teeth are not so big. And the bear has been to the dentist, to a Ukrainian dentist. And it's if Russia cannot secure its own strategic airfields, what does it say to NATO? What does it say to China? And so Zelensky invites himself to NATO's high table, and Putin glares at scorched tarmac. And one wonders if Russia resented its final phrase of superpowerhood, a state defined by theatrical retaliation, strategic insolvency, and a bitter wormwood-scented paranoia. We're watching not just a war, but the slow unraveling of a myth. Hit or miss. And this is what post-imperial twilight looks like. It comes not with a bang, but with the whir of a drone and the squeal of burning rubber.